backend, but if you start switching between different code bases, you don't want to have to duplicate that ginormous application suite for each code that you're working on. So really, the concept of references already exists, of course, between the different packages, but we even want to be able to have those packages in different folders, so that if you create a new solution, you can just reference the code base from a different package that you already have, and that will ultimately lead to more composability on that front as well. And then finally, this is, of course, one of the big questions we get a lot. We are working on Visual Studio support for 2017 and 2019. Clearly, same thing. If we'll enable everyone to start developing on their local machines, we no longer control the hardware and the software that you get, so we need to make sure we're compatible with the latest and greatest, and also keep up with that. So I'll switch right into a demo. So this is actually on my local machine. You'll notice I didn't get the Zoom thing installed here. This sucks. Can you? Well, I guess it's more conceptual than anything else. But my IoT here is kind of dumbed down. This is more just for my performance and being able to take new builds really quickly. But I just have the platform installed here. So this is all running on my local machine. So clearly I do need a SQL box. Right now I have SQL installed locally on this laptop. But ultimately, we want to be able to have you use any SQL machine. If you have a group of developers, maybe you want to put SQL on the network and have everybody use that and get a good performing SQL machine, or like what I'm doing now and just install SQL local. Also, right now, of course, for debugging purposes, we're using IIS Express here. So we'll come up with a way that you have to run a few scripts or do a quick install that creates some certificates that the AOS needs. But for the most part, it's a pretty light, well, not lightweight per se, but it's a fairly quick install to get the AOS up and running on the local machine as well. So just to show you, this is actually a very underperforming machine, but it surprisingly works. What's the black bar there? It works fairly well. I've actually had to constrain my SQL here to like 800 megabytes because this is a fairly old machine, but it still works. Clearly, it's not an optimal setup, and I know this question has already come up from some people, like as far as what are we expecting, like for specs needed for the machine and all that. I think as we get along, we'll get closer to release. We'll have to figure out kind of what the good setup would be. But as you can tell, this, of course, here the AOS was already running. I think if I make a quick change here, of course, this will have to recycle the AOS. But even then, it's fairly. I mean, just eliminating the VM already is kind of a big deal in performance and running everything local. So this is just a quick show of the debugging, but then I want to show you actually being able to switch between the different code bases here. So this is loading, there we go, and nothing too exciting about debugging an Infolog. Yeah, there we go. So I'll just stop this right here. So the experience we're going with right now, and I can, like I said, I don't have the Zoom tool, so it's not very exciting. But on my local machine here, I created a folder which is XVP, and this is where right now I have everything running. And I literally just have a folder which has the Microsoft code, which I'll use for references. The idea is that you could have maybe your ISV give you their package, you'll put that in some sort of folder, and you can start referencing those in whatever folders they are. Whereas right now on the VMs, we have this monolithic packages folder. You'll be able to split those out and reuse them and compose them back as you're creating different solutions. So this is actually the platform, and I have my personal code is actually in my temp folder here, interestingly. So there's the base model here, and that's the one you're seeing here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to configure a new one. The way we're doing this is with config folders, or config files. So we have a JSON file that just lists a couple of things around your metadata and the runtime. Ultimately, we're trying to slim that down even further, but this is sort of our V1 of this whole concept, I guess. So what I'm going to do, actually on my desktop, let's just create a new folder called code. And then, I said select, right? I want to create a new one. There we go. This one will have to go ultimately. So I want to put my config file in that new folder on my desktop. I'll call it code. And then I can list references here. So right now I can only reference one, but as we get closer to preview, you'll be able to list whatever other folders that have code that you want to compose. So this is that references feature. So in this case, it'll be that platform that I want to reference. And I'm going to say where I'm going to put the new code that I'm creating. So I'll put this on that desktop folder that I created here. So I have the code, okay. And then clearly, because I'm creating a new solution, I may want to use a different database as well. So that, if you have different solutions, you want to use different databases. In this case, I'll just use the same one. And then same for the xref. As we get closer, this is all very much preview, so a lot of this could still change. But we'll have options here to like initialize a new one or get a blank one, that sort of thing. Right now, kind of manually duplicating or creating new backup files, but make sure I don't have any typos in there. There we go. And then I'll have to restart Visual Studio for this one to kind of reinitialize. And that's 2019. That actually does work, but not for the purpose of this demo just yet. So 2015. And so this will pull up the IoT. You'll notice there's no custom packages at this point, of course. I only reference the platform. We can see this actually in that desktop folder that I created right now. All it'll have created is that config file that I wanted, and then a runtime, which is what the AOS will use. So I'm just going to create a new model. I'll call it code test. Can't see my cursor. There we go. Create a new package. Go through this pretty quickly. Code test. And you see already on the IoT there on the left, it added the code test package. And so you'll notice that on disk at this point in that desktop folder, it now created that model file and the descriptor and all of that. So the point now, of course, is I've created this. You see the code test here. Now if I want to go back, I can just flip back to the other code base and say, select the existing config file, which I think I had in that XVP folder. There we go. At this point, you still have to restart Visual Studio. I think that will be the same. So we're planning to have this in public preview in the Wave 2 release in October. So for that one, you'll still also have to restart Visual Studio when you swap the configurations. But ultimately, the point really is that we want to be able to switch on the fly and not have to restart every time. And it's a long time coming, but we're getting there. So there you go. So now I flip back to the base model. So the point really is you can start composing those loads. All right. How am I doing? 10 minutes. All right. Can show more. 9. Okay. So that's that. On the build side, we're working hard to get what we're calling a deployment-free build. Essentially meaning, I guess the last bullet point, we want to get to supporting the Azure DevOps hosted agents, right? Right now, you can deploy a build VM. It's great. It has everything on it. But unfortunately, that machine costs a lot of money for sitting there and doing essentially nothing most of the time, right? We're even getting the Azure team telling us, why are you using this capacity that is not doing anything? So we really want to get rid of that. It has a lot of benefits other than cost as well, of course. If we can, what we're calling sort of the just-in-time compiler, meaning as you're trying to compile something, it will have to get the compiler version that you need for the platform and app that you're on. Being able to do that also means that you won't need a build VM for each application version you're working on, right? So as a customer, you're going to the next release, you want to update that today. If you're a bit scared, maybe you get 2 build VMs, the old version and the new version, just to make sure you can maintain that, but all that costs money and is a lot of maintenance. So the point there is you'll be able to swap between these versions just by specifying a new version and get that going. Clearly, because of that, we'll still support private agents as well. Like if you have some sort of internal infrastructure already for maybe .NET builds or whatnot, you'll still be able to use that and it'll just work, right? So to get that working as well, we'll do pure MS build on the Rainier project files. right? So that you don't have to, I mean, right now the build VM uses a lot of PowerShell glue to get everything going. We generate a lot of things on the fly. But the point there is that we really want to use MS build, that you can point to a solution file or a project file and it'll just build it, right? Everything else will just come for free. The way we're going to deal with some dependencies, you really want to leverage NuGet as well. So obviously when you're compiling, you're going to need the platform and probably the app as well that you're extending. So the way we're envisioning that is we're going to use NuGet to actually pull the correct versions in, and then the build will sort of, put it all. Still don't have the compiler packaged up. Let me just go through this first and then see how far we get. I can show you the task. So on the deployment side, we have the release tasks available. Which of you have actually tried the automated deployment already? That's a fair number. Okay, so I have a little link in there. I assume these PowerPoints are available or will be available on the website, right? I think. So there's a link in there, but essentially, if you go to the Azure DevOps Marketplace and you search for Dynamics 365 Unified Operations, you'll actually find our tasks. And so we've added tasks to be able to upload a deployable package into the asset library in LCS, and also trigger that deployment to a tier 1 or tier 2 sandbox environment. So that really gives you the capability to automate not just the build, but also get to the deployment. So you have that end-to-end story. So I think at this point we're already at like 1,100 installs on Azure DevOps tenants, so it's catching steam pretty quickly. There's a lot of future opportunities. I don't know if anyone's been to Lane Swenka's session, but he's been talking about adding some APIs to support database movement and things like that. So ultimately, we want to hook all of that together and really give you a great feature set to do release tasks and be able to build a new test environment by deploying new code, getting a new production database copy, and sort of get all that end-to-end stuff going. A question I get frequently as well is whether we're going to document some of these APIs. Long term, that is definitely the plan. We're still tweaking some of that, so we really don't want people to take dependencies on the back-end API, so we really encourage you to just use the Azure DevOps tasks. We know there's a couple of community efforts like the D365FO tools that have PowerShell commandlets that want to do all these things. I mean, they already have taken that dependency on the API, and I guess they'll have to just fix it if we break something in there. But ultimately, we do want to document all these APIs that were added. And another thing that I know is going to come up as well pretty soon is people want samples or templates of how to do these releases. I think right now it's mostly been the hardcore FNO crowd that's really been playing with this, but I realize we do want to create some templates that customers that are new to this whole space can start out with. And then finally on the monitoring side, like I said, I don't have much detail in here. There's different teams working on different things. Yesterday in Dave Frosley and Peter's session, they talked about App Tracker to be able to add some custom telemetry in X++ that you can send into App Insights. I think Manali and team on LCS are also working on making some of our internal telemetry available into Azure App Insights. So I think that will finally get you to that last step as well. So if you think about that broadly, from development all the way to deployment, especially leveraging Azure DevOps, you can even start building things where telemetry could be a gating item for development being deployed into the next tier in your test systems and things. So there's all sorts of cool stuff that we'll be able to build with all of this. So I think, let me pull up the release pipeline. I'll give you an example of what that looks like. So this is standard Azure DevOps. So essentially, you link a couple of artifacts that come out of your build, your automated build. You can then trigger that to automatically go and start the release pipeline. You can set all sorts of workflows where somebody has to approve it first, or you can schedule it for like 6 p.m. at night or whatnot. So these are all standard Azure DevOps features that we'll be able to use at this point. And then you have these different stages. This particular stage, so you see these two tasks here. So all this is doing is just uploading your deployable package to LCS and then deploying it to a specific environment. There are some articles online there's a lot of community support on this as well, where if you want to hook up different environments and all together, you can sort of chain them, and there's all sorts of good stuff. I'm hoping we can do a bit more documentation on this and templates. The problem we have a little bit is, of course, the Azure DevOps team moves very fast themselves. They add a lot of features. I don't want to start duplicating much of the documentation, but I do realize that some samples will probably be helpful for the community. And then finally, and I'll probably have to use a different browser because it's different authentication. Yeah, I'm that guy who uses different browsers so I don't have to log in every time. So this is a build pipeline that we've been testing with, which is the most unexciting thing you'll ever see, but effectively I'm just building our project files here. Clearly what we'll end up with is a few extra steps to do a NuGet restore to get the standard application and get the compiler streamed in. And then finally, of course, a step to generate the deployable package. But this is what we're going to end up with, as opposed to having like 4 or 5 different steps to do PowerShell scripts to glue it all together. All right. So that's pretty much it. So like I said, we'll have this in public preview in October, in the release wave 2, as we're calling it now. We do have our insider tips blog on the community website, which that's where we've been blogging some about the release tasks when we released them at first. So keep an eye on that as well. We're going to try and get as much documentation out there on the docs website, clearly, but I think it'll be useful for the blog so we can create some samples and templates and give some more context of what we're doing. All right. That's all I had. So, any questions? Yes. Yes.
So one and two, how would that work with updates? So I have, for example, I'm a controller, I have 2 clients. One goes to 10.02, other is 10.04.
Right.
So how will I update them?
Yeah. So the question was, I talked about composing the code bases. So how does that work with updates? So in the beginning, I'm expecting in October, there'll be quite a few manual things you'll have to do there. But the plan is to really move that whole concept into NuGet, so that you can really leverage NuGet entirely to also get a new version of the app installed and a new version of, well, the platform we're not quite sure because the DevTools still have that dependency. So it remains to be seen, but the code base itself, or just the X++ code itself, for sure we're going to leverage NuGet for that, because we need it for the build as well anyway, so we want to make sure it's a consolidated story. Right, but yeah, so for the build, yes, the project file is one thing, but if we're going to run this on an Azure hosted agent, it's not even going to have the standard application code you're extending, right? So it needs to get that from somewhere. And that's where we can leverage NuGet, that we can see what dependencies your code has, and then we can get the app NuGet package and those types of things. So yeah, I mean, we're really trying to go all standard, right? The goal is to get as close as possible to any other .NET language. I'm sorry? Real DevOps level, exactly. And then especially now that there's more traction on the monitoring side, I think we're really going to have a pretty good story there.
And for the shared SQL, so
yes.
Which is amazing. Synchronization, how do you think that?
For the shared... Oh, you mean if you're using the same SQL box with multiple developers? Yes. Yeah, I think there's not a whole lot we can do there. Now the good news though is if you're doing a database sync from the project file, that's already the case today. So if you have your project and you have just one table in there, you do a sync, it only syncs that table and potentially any dependencies. So I agree, if you're going to share a SQL box between multiple developers, you may run into some interesting issues, but I think overall, yeah, we'll have to kind of see and wait. Yeah, during development that could, yes, I agree, that could be an issue, yes.
How will you handle
Different
different hotfixes?
hotfixes.
So you not only have 10.0.2, you only have those and then just some hotfixes.
Oh, you mean hotfixes on the same application? Yeah, so I think that's where NuGet will definitely work, right? Because it's just a minor change on the X++ side. So yeah, I mean that's I think again for now and definitely in the preview there'll be some manual things to get that on the box. Worst case, we're still trying to figure out how far we can take it by October. Worst case scenario, just unzip the NuGet file and put them there. But hopefully we'll have a bit of a better story. But ultimately that's where we want to go. That you can just say, oh, there's a hotfix on 10.04. I just update the NuGet and I have them, right?
So the build, the removing of the build machine, is that planned for the October?
Yes, so the removing of the build machine is also planned for October. So just to clarify, we'll still have the tier 1 available, right? So both build VM and dev VM, because there's plenty of people that are using those, clearly. We also realize there's going to be customers that really don't have enough infrastructure or whatnot. They don't really want to deal with installing it local, right? So we'll still have those, but for sure the build story and the, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, sir. Sorry, I have a hard time hearing.
So you mentioned about working with multiple customers, multiple versions in demo. With the references, would you expect to have a set of references for, say, version PU27 and then a separate set of references for PU27?
Yeah, so the multiple versions we can't properly support. If you go back to before 8.0, we did platform updates, and we always made sure that the application was compatible with its original PU and any new ones, right? So we're still debating if that's something we can continue, that we could say potentially update the app local, but you don't update the tools, so you keep the platform you have. But with the whole one version thing, I think that is gonna kind of solve itself, although you do have the option of delaying some of these updates. We still have always the backward compatibility story, right, where you say, okay, I'm staying on PU27, and then yeah, so I don't really have a good answer for you there. I think right now the official answer I can give you is no, you'll have to just stick with one version on the box. I think we'll have to see what we do with one version, and if we need to potentially decouple the tools from the platform version, but I mean that would be a significant investment, so we'll see. I'm going to look at that side because there's a lot of questions here, but yes, sir.
Any improvements on the S++ DLL within the Visual Studio itself? Like just the IntelliSense and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so overall, that's a fair question. I mean, there's still a lot of potential glitches sometimes when you're doing code with the IntelliSense. So it's a continuing story that every PU, there's things that we fix and things that go in. We don't have any large effort to replace or change anything, but we do have quite a lot of fixes that are going in every month on IntelliSense, and even performance of that as well. We've seen sometimes issues with a label, and it tries to pop up the label and it takes a minute before it actually shows up. So a lot of these things are just getting fixed as we go along. So the team is continually, as we're working on this, trying to get a lot of those fixes in as well. So yeah, we did, from a performance point of view, there's been quite a few optimizations as well on the compiler side. As of PU28 now, that just went into PEEP, I believe. We've eliminated the page compiler. For those of you who know what that is, it's the PGC executable that we used to run to get some form optimization. That has been eliminated, which saves quite a bit of time and also resources during compile time. So there's continuing improvements on that as we go every month. Yeah. Yes. For local development, will we support Azure SQL? It's something we've been debating. I'm guessing we will, because the plan is that we'll actually just make SQL a connection string. That's really all the dev tools and everything needs. The only problem with that is that the few times we've tried this, doing local development with an Azure SQL backend, the lag time is just killer, right? So when you're trying to run through debugging and it's not a great experience, but it should definitely be possible, because we just want to make it a connection string. So, and actually, I think there's been some partners who've been already experimenting with some of that, where they have used the tier 1s but shut down the SQL on the box, so that they can shrink the size of the VM, right? And then use Azure SQL like an elastic pool or something to try and save some cost. But even there, when it's all running in the cloud itself, the experience is not quite the same as running it all local, clearly. So yeah, we'll have to see how that pans out. It should be possible. I'm just not sure if it'll be a good experience.
For debugging, it's really needed then. You want to debug from
Yes. So for debugging, so the way the tools will work, so when you install them local, you'll be able to do any of the extra source development, but as soon as you want to try and run the debugger, it'll prompt you to finish off a couple of installation pieces to get the OS running. So it's sort of it's a decoupled, that's what we've been working on for so long now, is to decouple the dev tools entirely from the runtime. So we'll get to a stage where you can actually do compiling and everything without even needing the AOS completely configured locally. So that decoupling is done. Yeah. Yeah, so as far as the other components, we're not going to make this a full-fledged environment. That's never been the idea. It's really about just enabling development locally. Clearly, SSRS is a component you will need, that most people will need. So same thing there. So at this point, I don't have it on this machine because it's too old to try and cram it all on there. But yeah, you will have to have SSRS either locally or same thing on the network. And in fact, we'll have less issues with sharing SSRS at that point because the SSRS, our team that does all the reporting pieces, they've been working hard to making some of the SSRS stuff more multi-tenant, also for our internal deployments. So we'll be able to leverage some of that you don't always have to deploy the full reporting stack into SSRS and all that. So you should be, I think that will be a better story than sharing SQL, that you can at least share SSRS on the network if you have to. MR, we're not at this point going to look into supporting that locally. I don't think any developer really deals with that all that much anyway, and you can just go to a cloud environment. Retail, we're talking to the retail team, of course, that's the big thing. In fact, they've been asking for this local development feature for a long time. So now the ball is back in their court also to make sure that we can have the runtime, the retail runtime on the box. I think you could technically do it already today with their scale units. You can install that local if you wanted to. But same thing there, we're trying to make sure I have a decent experience as far as not requiring, like with 2012, where you took a day to set up a new dev environment, right? This should be quick and easy. So retail for sure. And then Dixif and Batch would be the other two major ones that we want to make sure we enable. I think, I'm not sure how much of that we'll have in the October preview. We'll definitely have X++ as SSRS. I think as far as retail, Batch, Dixif, that may come like a month or two later. We'll have to, hopefully we'll get it all in, but yeah. Yes?
So you didn't demo the Visual Studio 2019?
I did not demo 2019, no.
Okay, that was working. It was broken on my machine. I even tried it.
Yeah, and I had.
You some log, yeah.
Yes. So yesterday I think Dave and Peter, or at least Peter in his session, was using VS 2019. So actually on the tier 1 VMs, if you install 2017 or 2019, it should work for the most part. I know 2019 there's a few glitches. Definitely unit testing doesn't work. But it should. I know on my local machine I had more issues than on the VM, so there's some dependency that we haven't resolved clearly.
Is this going live? Do you think the existing machines, the VMs, as you go update in January, will be able to use like decouple them? Will be automatically decoupled to the updates, or will you need to spin a new VM?
Great question. So the question is, come October or January, if we have a VM already, can we enable these features? The answer is going to be yes, you can. I think one thing we'll have to figure out is, because once you go into this mode, the servicing story or the update story changes. And so that's one thing we're still figuring out, that maybe once you turn these new features on the box, that we stop servicing through LCS to work, because it would probably cause all sorts of issues, and we really don't want to get into somehow reworking the LCS team's servicing story to start work. I mean, it's going to be a, yeah. So it's quite possible we'll just have to, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll stick around. I think we have another presentation coming up, so I need to cut this off. But I'll stick around, and I know there was some questions in the back there, so thank you.